Sì, sì.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with Alessandro De Angelis with this second video on the story his investigations on the historical Jesus. Today we will talk basically of the people who were around Jesus during his crucifixions, during his last day according to the Gospels. However, we're going to start with a reader resume of the last time, and I see that Alessandro prepared on his lavagna. I don't remember how do you say lavagna on the blackboard, on his blackboard, a little genealogy. And last time we started our story with observing the fact that Herod the king was looking for Jesus Christ. So the first personage, the first person in the history is Herod. Herod, he was married with the first wife was Doris, and Doris had two brothers, Joseph and Theuda. Also, Herod had a third wife, Maria Boetus, who, by the way, Josephus Flavius says was a very beautiful woman. Now, Maria Boetus, the third wife, Doris, the first wife, the two brothers of Doris, Theuda and Joseph, were involved in the conspiracy against Herod, and they were trying to kill him. Herod discovered the plan, and Maria Boetus, Joseph and Theuda, they escaped to Egypt. In Egypt, Maria Boetus, she had 4 children: James, Judah, James, Judah, Simon, and another one which I don't remember. And we start from here. In pratica, Alessandro, ho dato un piccolo riassunto e penso che ora forse si dovrà spiegare come mai come è stata ordita la congiura. Cioè mi pare che Theuda abbia ordinato o è andato a prendere del veleno in Egitto per uccidere Erode, giusto?
Sì, esattamente. Dopo passiamo un attimo, vediamo un attimo i passi di Giuseppe Flavio, dove Theuda prese il veleno dall'Egitto. Adesso facciamo vedere alle persone come dai Vangeli sembra apparentemente che non ci sia Maria, madre di Gesù, sotto la croce. E quindi ti invito a leggere il Vangelo secondo Marco con i 3 personaggi che sono sotto la croce di Gesù.
Only Mark. So we are going now to see how apparently under the crux when Jesus was crucified, there were different people. And Alessandro is asking me to read the Gospel of Mark at the moment, which I'm going to read, and I'll put it also, I'll try to put it on the screen. Let me see if I can do it. Okay, and now let me just enlarge it for me. I have to read it. Quite sorry. I have to recover. I have to recover. Ok, the Gospel of Mark. Which passage? Quale passaggio, Alessandro? Scusa, il capitolo che non l'ho scritto.
Nel Vangelo secondo Marco.
Sì.
Troviamo Maria di Magdala.
So in Mark, we're looking for the passage. We reread. Some women were watching from a distance. Among them were Mary Magdalene, Mary, the mother of Jesus, the younger, and of Joseph, and also Salome. So you can read it also. Some women were watching from distance. Among them, there were Mary Magdalene, Mary, the mother of James the younger, and of Joseph. Ok, carry on.
Nel Vangelo secondo Matteo viene confermata la versione di Marco. Troviamo sempre Maria Maddalena, e Maria, madre di Giacomo e Giuseppe, e la madre dei figli di Zebedeo, che è Maria Salomè.
Okay, like you can read, I hope that you can read in our screen, in Matthew confirms what Mark is saying. So we read in Matthew, I'm sorry I cannot quote the passage at the moment, I just have John. So we read Matthew now, among whom, so we're talking of the women who were near the cross, among whom were Mary Magdalene, Mary the mother of James and Joseph, and the mother of the sons of Zebedee. So it's confirming that Mary Magdalene and Mary the mother of James and Joseph were there.
Apparentemente da questi due Vangeli sembra che mancherebbe la madre Maria, madre di Gesù.
So it is one moment. So it is quite clear if we, from what we read, and we read the two Gospels of Mark and Matthew, that the Mary, the mother of Jesus, is missing. Okay.
Cosa che sembra molto improbabile e inverosimile. Infatti Giovanni nel suo Vangelo inserisce la madre di Gesù e ci parla di una sua sorella che si chiamava anch'ella Maria, Maria di Cleopa, oltre a Maria di Magdala.
Okay, so since the fact that the Mary, the mother of Jesus, seems it's missing in Mark and Matthew, we do find it, however, in John chapter 19, verse 25, we read it, but standing by the cross of Jesus were his mother and his mother's sister, Mary, the wife of Clopas, and Mary Magdalene. So, according to John, in the cross of Christ, there was the mother of Christ, the sister of Mary, called also Mary, by the way, Mary of Clopas, and Mary Magdalene.
In realtà, come stiamo per vedere, Maria, madre di Giacomo e di Giuseppe, è la Maria, madre di Gesù.
And actually, in reality, like we're going to show in a few moments, the Mary, the mother of Joseph and James, is actually the Mary, mother of Jesus Christ.
È infatti non verosimile che un genitore metta lo stesso nome a due sue figlie, chiamandola una Maria e un'altra sempre Maria, che poi diventerà di Cleopa.
So actually, even if in the Jewish tradition, it is not the case that a parent gives the same name, Miriam in Hebrew, to two children. And actually one was Mary and the other one was Mary of Cleopa. It's quite improbable.
Giovanni ha semplicemente sdoppiato Maria, madre di Gesù, con Maria di Cleopa.
So what did John did, according to the other two Gospels? We also have to remember that John is the last Gospel which has been written. Mark is the first one. Then comes Matthew and Luke. So what John did is making of Mary, the mother of Jesus, dividing it in two persons, two Marys. Mary, the mother of Jesus, and Mary of Cleopa.
Dal Vangelo di Marco possiamo leggere che Maria aveva 4 figli. Ci dice: non è egli Gesù il falegname, il figlio di Maria, fratello Adelfos di Giacomo, Giuseppe, Simone e Giuda, e le sue sorelle non sono qui tra noi?
So now we had another little piece. Notice that until now we're just following the Gospels. We now read a pass from the Gospel of Mark. Just one second, I'm going to add this one to the stream. I think it should be this like this. Now you can see it, and I will read it for you. I have it here. So this is Mark 6:3. Actually, I also put the Greek text, which says "o koton estino tekton," otioste Marias, kai Adelphos, Jacobos, kai Josephos, kai Juda, kai Simonos, kai okestin aisa Adelphai oton ode proseman, which, sorry, I just wanted to show that I know to read Greek. What is he saying? Talking of Jesus, in Mark we read, is he not this, the carpenter, the son of Mary, the brother of James, Joseph, Judah, and Simon? And I notice, sisters, here with us, notice that, by the way, here, I just wrote here, you can read it in Greek, you can read Tes Marias in green. And Adelphos in red means brother. And downstairs on the second line, you can read Adelphai, which is referred to the sisters. Actually, in the Jewish tradition, of course, brother was also related to the same mother, but different father, and vice versa. So, go on.
Nei testi copti ritrovati a Nag Hammadi in Egitto nel 1947 abbiamo delle informazioni su chi era il padre di questi 4 figli. Quindi ti invito a leggere dalla seconda Apocalisse di Giacomo i 2 testi dove si vede che Giacomo il giusto era il figlio di Teuda.
Okay, so this one I don't have the slides, so I just read it himself. Now we switch now to the to some writings, Copt writings, written in the Copt language, which is Getz. And they've been found in Egypt in Nag Hammadi in 1947. And now I'm going to read, Alessandro is inviting me to read for you what we discover from this text, which I'm sorry, but I have to find them on my computer. Which one? Quale, Alessandro? Me lo leggi in italiano la linea iniziale, che poi lo leggo in...
Sì,
questo è il discorso.
una volta mentre Gesù va a casa di Giacomo, di suo fratello Giacomo, e dice: una volta mentre ero seduto e meditavo.
Sì, okay, so we read from this text, and we will understand who are the parents of these 4 brothers, James, John, and Simon, and Judah. So we read, James is saying, once when I was sitting deliberating, he opened the door. He was referring, he is Jesus Christ. That one whom you hated and persecuted came in to me. He said to me, hail, my brother, hail. As I raised my face to stare at him, my mother said to me, do not be frightened, my son, because he said, my brother to you. For you, both of you, were nourished with the same milk. Because of this he calls me my mother. For he is not stranger to us. He is your father's grandson. So this is the first test that Alessandro is asking me to read, and this is regarding the mother of James. The mother of James is saying, don't be surprised that he calls you brother, because you've been taking the same milk, meaning you came from the same person, from me.
L'informazione che ci dà il testo è che il padre di Giacomo è lo zio di Gesù. Gesù è il nipote del padre di Giacomo. Sempre nella seconda Apocalisse di Giacomo leggiamo: questo è il discorso pronunciato in Gerusalemme da Giacomo il giusto. Lo leggi in inglese.
Yes, and now we read from the second Apocalypse of James. We read another little piece. This is the discourse that James the just spoke in Jerusalem, which Marim, one of the priests, wrote. He had told it to Teuda, the father of the just, one of the just. One, since he was a relative of his, he said, Huston, come we marry your wife and your relatives. And then he goes on. So here the information is that Teuda was the father of James.
Quindi sappiamo che Teuda era il padre di Giacomo e Giacomo era fratello anche di Simone, Giuda e Giuseppe, che a questo punto risultano essere fratelli di Gesù da parte di Maria.
So, but until now, what we are seeing is that James, Judah, Simon, and Joseph are brothers. Teuda is the father of James the Just, so this means he's also the father of the other ones. And the mother was Maria, this Mary Boetus. And also
questo viene confermato anche dal frammento.
One second, Alessandro. We also do know, we said it before, that from the Gospels, that the brothers of Jesus were James, Simon, Judah, and Shimon. Yes?
Questo viene confermato anche dal frammento di Papia, dove si dice che Maria, moglie di Cleopa, era madre di Giacomo il Giusto, vescovo e apostolo, di Simone, Giuda Taddeo e Giuseppe.
Okay, so now I'm going to add another one, so you may read it also with me. Let's see if I'm good. That's the Papia fragment. Another, what's happening here? Alessandro is showing how is been deducing, what is deducing by comparing different historical documents. Now we're going to read the Papia fragment. The Papia fragment, let me find it for me to read. That's number 4, I think.
Stai traducendo.
Questo è Eusebio, storia ecclesiastica.
Sì, in Eusebio, storia ecclesiastica, sappiamo che Cleopa era fratello di Giuseppe e quindi Cleopa e Teuda sono le stesse persone.
Okay, actually,
in inglese.
I didn't read it because you can read it. It's on the screen, and I can't find it on my computer. I think it's but we're going to read it in any case. It should be this one, yes. Okay. No, I can read the fragment of Eusebio from Caesarea. Eusebius is a father of the church, and he wrote the history of the church, Historia Ecclesiastica. We read on chapter 3:11, line 12, they all with one consent pronounced Simeon, the son of Clopas, of whom the gospel also makes mention, to be worthy of the episcopal throne of that parish. He was a cousin, as they say, of the Savior. For Hesippus records that Clopas was brother of Joseph. So another font, Eusebius, is explaining to us that Clopas was the brother of Jesus, of Joseph. Sorry for the confusion.
Possiamo vedere dalla tabella seguente che Maria, moglie di Cleopa, era la madre di Giacomo, Giuseppe, Simone e Giuda, e Maria, madre di Gesù, era la madre di Giacomo, Giuseppe, Simone e Giuda. Giuseppe era chiamato anche Iosi, nome ellenizzato in greco di Giuseppe, che era un nome rarissimo, e quindi abbiamo 2 sorelle con lo stesso nome che hanno 4 figli a cui danno lo stesso nome. Questo è la prova dello sdoppiamento che c'è stato tra le due, di Maria Boeto con Maria madre di Gesù e Maria di Cleopa.
Okay, so now I'm going to add this last okay, I hope that you can see it on the screen. So until now, what is it that we've been showing, has been shown? According to the fonts, has been quoted, but watch out, there's much more in the books of Alessandro, of course, you can see the original quotations. You can see a much more and elaborate tractations of the subject, which we can't do in videos. So you can see in the little table here that we have two Marys. One is Mary Boetus, the other one is Mary, the mother of Jesus. Both of them, they have 4 children. Both of them, the 4 children, they have the same names. And by the way, if you notice, this Josephus, which in Greek is Hellenized into Yosim, was a very, very, very rare name. So we should conclude that actually in the Gospel of John, Maria Boetus and Mary, the mother of Jesus, were made 2 different persons. I hope that until now everything is clear, and I hope that this table, which resumes what we said before, so we saw in the Gospels that there were the people around the cross, there were a number of women. The first 2 Gospels, they do agree. And then we saw in Mark that Jesus had some brothers. We saw the names of the brothers, which are James, Simon, Judah, and Joseph. And we also, except the Gospels, we also saw other fonts, in particular the Papia fragment, number 12, I think, and then we saw Eusebio from Caesarea in Historia Ecclesiasticus, and also we saw the Copt test written in Getz, found in Nag Hammadi in 1947. They all confirmed that there were 4 brothers. The father of the brothers is called Teuda, and the mother is called Mary. And the Mary of Jesus Christ has got the same sets of children like Mary Boetus.
Nel 5 avanti Cristo, Giuseppe Flavio, in Guerra giudaica, racconta di una cospirazione che ci fu ai danni del re Erode da parte di Maria Boeto, la sua terza moglie, per uccidere il re. E in questa cospirazione ci fu anche l'intervento di Teuda, che prese un veleno fatto venire proprio dall'Egitto per uccidere il re Erode il Grande. Se leggi i passi in inglese di Guerra giudaica, sia di Maria sia di Teuda che ritira il veleno.
See, 1 second. Okay, so now we change subject a little bit. So let's remember that there is these 2 Marys, Mary Boetus and Mary of Christ. We, according to the fonts, they apparently seem to be the same person. We're going to investigate more. Now, with which subject? We go back to where we stayed. If you remember, Herod the Great discovered that there was a conspiracy against him. In this conspiracy, we do find in Flavius Josephus, which I'm going to read now if I find it in English, we find that Teuda went to Egypt to take the poison, and this poison was to be used to kill Herod. Now I'm going to read è quello lì quando ci sono anche i fratelli uccisi e torturati, il primo?
Sì.
Okay, so this is Josephus Flavius, whereby it was discovered that Mariamne, the high priest's daughter, Maria Boetus, by the way, was conscious of this plot, and her very brothers, when they were tortured, declared it so to be. Whereupon the king Herod avenged this insolent attempt of the mother upon her son, and blotted Herod, whom he had by her, out of his treatment, who had been before named therein a successor to Antipater. By the way, so what is he saying here? Maybe I read it too quickly. He's saying that Herod discovered the complot, and he had a son from Maria Boetus. We know that he had a son with the same name, Herod, and is being put out of Jerusalem together with Maria.
Se leggi anche il passo successivo di Guerra Giudaica, dove Teuda ritira il veleno, così.
Sì. And now we read the second font from still from Josephus Flavius, and this is as follows. And upon torturing him, he learned, we're talking of Herod, he learned that Antipater had sent for a portion of deadly poison for him out of Egypt by Antiphilus, a companion of his, that Theodio, which in Greek is Theodion, which means little Theuda, the uncle of Antipater, had it from it and delivered it to Pheroras. For that, Antipater had charged him to take his father off while he was in Rome, and so free him from the suspicion of doing it itself. The Pheroras has also committed this portion to his wife. So again, my reading in English is not really beautiful, I'm saying, but I'm sorry for that. Technically, basically here, Flavius Josephus is telling us that Theuda went in Egypt to take the poison that was to be used to poison Herod.
Sappiamo da Flavio Giuseppe che Teuda era lo zio di Antipatro. Antipatro fu colui che organizzò questa cospirazione contro suo padre Erode ed era il figlio nato da Erode il Grande e dalla sua prima moglie Doris.
Okay, still from Josephus, we do know that Doris was the first wife of Herod, and from Herod he had a son. She had a son called Antipatrus. Antipatrus, together with Doris, were the ones who had the idea of this conspiracy. We also do know that Theuda is, of course, because it's the brother of Doris, is the uncle of Antipatrus.
Essendo Teuda e Doris figli di Giuseppe, risultano essere cugini del re Erode il Grande, in quanto il padre Giuseppe era fratello di Antipatro, il padre del re Erode il Grande.
Okay, so it's not going to get complicated. So Theuda and Doris, they were brothers. The father was called also Joseph. Try to write down all these things because it's getting complicated with all these names. So Theuda and Doris, the father was Joseph also. Okay, and okay, vai avanti.
Giuseppe,
se
puoi mostrare la lavagna,
yes,
grazie. Giuseppe fu ucciso da Erode il Grande. Giuseppe era lo zio di Erode, fu ucciso da Erode perché fu accusato di adulterio con la seconda moglie del re Erode il Grande. Quindi i figli di Giuseppe avevano un valido motivo per vendicarsi della morte del loro padre uccidendo Erode, il loro cugino Erode.
So, I put there the genealogy from Alessandro Blackboard, and you can see what Joseph is the father of Doris, Joseph, and Theudas. He was also the brother of Herod. So that this guy is he was the uncle of Herod. So Herod, Doris, the first wife, Joseph, and Theuda, they were all cousins. Antipater was also the son of Doris and Herod.
Ma noi sappiamo che Giuseppe era anche fratello di Teuda, quindi anche Giuseppe risulterebbe essere cugino di Erode. Infatti, negli scritti di Tito Flavio Giuseppe abbiamo ritrovato Giuseppe, padre putativo di Gesù, cugino del re Erode il Grande, a conferma di questo studio.
Okay, so from what we can see, I put it again on the big screen so you can you can see it better. Of course, also we can understand that Joseph was also the cousin of Herod, and we do understand from the writings of Josephus Flavius was the putative father of Jesus.
Flavio Giuseppe ci dice che Giuseppe sedò una rivolta dei giudei sotto il governatore romano Varo, quindi era un ufficiale romano.
So how do we know things about Joseph, the brother of Theuda and the brother of Doris? We know information from Flavius Josephus Flavius, who's saying that Joseph was a Roman official who stopped a revolt in the quale anno?
Intorno al 6 dopo Cristo.
Around the 6 after Christ.
Celso e i rabbini ci danno ulteriori informazioni di Giuseppe, ci dicono che Gesù era il figlio di un legionario romano soprannominato Pantera, e questo conferma Giuseppe, cugino di Erode, legionario romano sotto Varo.
Okay, so Joseph, Josephus Flavius says that Joseph was an official in the army, in the Roman army under Varo, and actually this comes to a question I asked Alessandro last time: who was Pantera? Because some people say that actually even Celsus is saying that Jesus was a son of Pantera. Indeed. Pantera was the nickname of Joseph. Actually, it was a general nickname.
Giuseppe fu quindi anche lui partecipe della cospirazione contro Erode il Grande. Lo troviamo che fuggì insieme a Maria proprio in Egitto.
So also Joseph was part of the conspiracy, and we find Joseph also escaping in Egypt together with Theuda and Mary Boetus, the third wife of Herod.
In Egitto, dove Teuda dove avevano fatto venire il veleno che aveva preso proprio Teuda.
So, well, no, go on, sorry.
Okay.
Vai.
Quando Giuseppe seppe che Maria era incinta da parte di Erode voleva indietro Gesù, non cercava per ucciderlo, non la ripudiò, ma decise di lasciarla. A quel punto poi Maria in Egitto si mise con Teuda, il fratello di Giuseppe, da cui ebbe quei 4 figli.
Okay, so what happened is that when Joseph knew that Mary Boetus was pregnant from Herod, he decided not to repudiate her. Why? Because there was a question of leverage, so he took he took Mary. But then when they went to Egypt, because we said that the father of the other brothers of Jesus, James and so on, was there. Indeed, when they went to Egypt, Mary, who was also beautiful, just started a relation with Theuda. By the way, why did they go to Egypt? They went to Egypt because Mary Boetus and also Theuda and Joseph, they were part of Egyptians' Jewish family, which was a very important one.
Intorno al 4 dopo Cristo, Teuda tornò a Gerusalemme per tentare una rivolta. Fu ucciso e a quel punto Giuseppe, fratello di Teuda, diventò padre putativo di Gesù e di Giacomo, Simone, Giuseppe e Giuda.
Okay, and now we come to the when really Giuseppe became officially the putative father of Jesus, when Theuda in the 4 after Christ, he decided to go to Jerusalem to try a revolt. He's been killed, and this is when Joseph, his brother, became the father of Jesus, and then of course of the four brothers also, which are James, Judah, Simon, and Joseph.
Ora si capisce il motivo per cui Erode cercava Gesù, voleva indietro il suo ultimo
I
figlio,
forgot to say that.
non per
So
ucciderlo.
we do now understand, according to what Alessandro says, why Herod was looking for Mary Boetus, because he also knew that she was pregnant, and Herod was looking for his last son, Jesus Christ.
Risultava infatti inverosimile Erode che voleva uccidere Gesù perché aveva paura che potesse detronizzarlo, in quanto Gesù era appena nato, non aveva nessun esercito, Erode aveva un esercito con cui aveva sconfitto tutti i suoi avversari e l'appoggio delle legioni romane.
So, in fact, Alessandro is just noting that it would have been very strange, and that was also our observation at the beginning on the first video. That Herod was just looking for a baby. Herod was a king; he could do whatever he wants, and it would be very strange that he was just looking for a baby because he was afraid to lose his kingdomship and so on. Also, because he could not live forever. So when Jesus would have been 30 years old or whatever, maybe Herod would have been dead already. So it is a little strange while that Herod was looking for a baby to kill him, while he was actually looking for his son.
Teuda aveva l'epiteto di Cleopa, che è un diminutivo di Cleopatra o Cleopatra. Questo epiteto non lo aveva né Doris né Giuseppe. Quindi Teuda diventò Cleopatro dopo che si unì con Maria, chiamata di Cleopa proprio perché era la figlia della regina Cleopatra d'Egitto. Come dimostreremo nelle prossime puntate.
Okay, so we're going to the conclusion now. Actually, why Teuda, he had a sort of nickname. The nickname was Cleopa. And when did he got this nickname? Cleopa is the shortening of Cleopatra in masculine form, or Cleopatra in feminine form. And the reason that he got the nickname Cleopa was just because he married Mary Boetus, who was descendant from the Queen Cleopatra of Egypt. Actually, of this we will talk next time. We hope you enjoyed, and sorry for the translation, sorry for the readings, but we're trying to improve little by little. Bye bye. Ciao Alessandro.
Ciao e grazie di tutto.